welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, as my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And tonight we'll be reviewing a musical called Grease that was released in 1978, I think it was.
Now, you're probably saying, why are we doing a musical? Well the main female role was played by Olivia Newton-John, and quite recently Olivia passed away after a battle of cancer.
Just last month.
And we do respect her as an actress and a singer. And we thought, well, a lot of you out there probably feel the same way. So we thought, as a tribute, we would review Grease on her behalf and talk about the lady a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, some of you might say, I don't like her music, I don't like her acting. Well, I'm sorry, but a lot of people do. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, Grease was part of my childhood. As you guys well know, that there's been a lot of movies I've talked about that were involved in my childhood.
Exactly.
But Grease was just one of many movies that, and the songs have stuck to me since then.
The feeling of it. You look at something like American Graffiti, similar period, and George Lucas made a really good impact of that movie.
Exactly.
That period has a lot of nostalgia in it as well. So, why not?
Yeah,
anyway, I'm going to cough a little bit still. I'm getting over my cold, so bear with me. A few sound effects in the background. All better now.
Yeah. So, anyway, Grease has been with me when I was a kid, and even when we were in primary school, we would often love listening to Grease Lightning or the other songs that come to mind.
Yeah.
I mean, Grease Lightning was pretty much one of the most beloved songs that we often did.
She loved John Travolta when she was a young girl.
Yeah, until I saw him in Hairspray and I changed my opinion.
And didn't mind Kinnicky as well.
Kinnicky, not too bad.
He wasn't too bad.
I thought both Kinnicky and Danny, they were like the main hottie guys, while the rest of the group, like the Three Stooge guys, were the class clowns of that group.
Yes, I'm gonna talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, so
at least one of them anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking about nostalgia, you look at this. I mentioned American Graffiti, also a TV spin-off, Happy Days, same period.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like the old music from that period, and the feeling, and the lifestyle, and the hot rods, and the music, and the malt shop, all that sort of hanging out together.
Hey, Mike, you were saying something earlier to me before we were going to do our podcast about who was going to star either as Danny or the other male
Well, I was going to talk about it later, but
I thought I might bring it up anyway.
Well, not so much. Going back here, the casting, I got down here. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, since he's bringing up American Happy Days, I thought I might bring this up.
As far as I'm aware, Fonzie, Henry Winkler, was offered a role in this, and he said no. He didn't want it because he didn't want to be stereotyped as a greaser, because obviously Fonz was in that category, and Henry wanted to do other things. So there's a few. I'll talk about the rest of the cast later.
Go on.
Okay, you're right. Okay,
I just thought I might bring it up because he was well, it's
cool.
It's just an interesting bit of subject matter when you think about it.
Well, the people get considered for roles. Even Carrie Fisher was lined up for part of this as well, and somebody else was going to get. What's so good? I'll go through it. What's the name? Blah blah. Stockard Channing. Somebody else nearly got her role, but she got it because she was a better suited for the role. But she was in the 30s. Oh. Playing a teenager. So when they did some of the close-ups of some of the people in this movie, they had to use soft lenses to hide skin imperfections and crow's feet and different things. So
well, I said before, guys, in the 70s, 80s, and possibly some parts of the 90s, they used to cast older adults to portray, young teenagers. It's unlike nowadays where where teenagers would be now cast as young.
Not always. You
teenagers.
Look at I think Michael J. Fox was in.
That would be Back to the Future.
No, the TV program. I can't remember. He was playing a teenager at school, college, whatever, and he was in his 20s, I think, or late 20s. And is in the same age bracket, or was a little bit older, when he was playing a teenager in the Back to the Future series.
I read somewhere that when you're in your 20s, I think that's when you go off to college.
You don't go on at 29, you go about 21, okay?
Well, I just mean that when you have junior college, junior high school,
Sarah,
you have high school, and then you have college that America's
but you're
familiar
also
with,
talking about
and you have university.
Yeah, I was talking about American scholastic citizens who don't know what age brackets they work, okay? Right?
Right.
So leave it alone.
Anyway, this is American stuff. Anyway, that's what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
but we don't know what age brackets junior college and senior college and stuff, okay?
Anyway,
Right.
moving on. So who directs,
Okay, I'll do all that
writes,
stuff.
and
Okay, here we go.
stars in it, obviously?
Produced by Robert Stigwood and Alan Carr. Directed by Randall Kleiser. Screenplay, Bronte Woodward. Adaptation by Alan Carr. He gets around, doesn't he? Based on Grease by Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey. So it must have been a book to start with. Anyway, irrespective. Moving right along.
Or a musical.
Well, possibly. I think it became a musical. No. I'll get into it a bit later on. I didn't say that. Based on Grease by. It doesn't say musical. Okay?
Have you looked at the top?
That is a top.
No, I meant the top as in not the top of the side of the information from Wikipedia, but at the top of the page.
Blah, 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 blah. A musical cinema. Based on... Okay, right. Okay, fine. Okay.
So it's based on a musical?
Now, moving right along. Okay. Well, she's smarter than me in some things. Now, here's what I like. Money. Budget, $6 million. That was probably then dollars. It made $366 million at the theatre. Heaven knows how much it made on home release. Yeah, DVDs, etc., and streamings, and it made a buckload of money. So it is even by that standard. That's a good reason to review it all by itself. You don't get too many movies that make that sort of return for your money. I won't talk too much, so save me coughing and wheezing into the microphone. I'm working through the flu, but Sarah's very impatient. Now she's going to tell the story now. Aren't you, my love?
Anyway, aren't you going to tell about the cast?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Bugger. Yeah. I forgot about the cast. She made me talk about the cast before.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah,
Did you?
Yeah, remember John, Henry Winkler and stuff? I started sort of yeah, right. Okay, John Travolta plays Danny Zuko, and Olivia Newton-John plays Sandy Olsen, our two main stars. Now, there's a group of guys, tough guys, really good. The T-Birds. Jeff Conaway plays Kaneki.
I believe that Jeff was also had a crush on Olivia Newton-John, and he actually ended up marrying her sister. And he also developed during this project, he developed a drug problem, and he kind of died in 2011 because of that drug addiction.
We all die, okay? Now move
But
on.
too bad he couldn't just go into rehab and fix himself up.
Started off on painkillers, wasn't it?
Yes,
Okay,
but then he
fine.
started going into other drugs here and there.
Maybe the painkillers weren't working anymore. Stop judging the man, okay?
I'm not judging him.
You are.
I feel
now,
sorry for him.
Barry Pearl plays Duty. You know which one, I can't remember which one's which. Michael Tucci plays Sonny Lettieri.
Yeah, he was weird.
Now, Kelly Ward plays a person called Patsy.
Sounds like a name from the Happy Days.
Exactly. I wonder whether they borrowed the name. Is it a plagiarism here?
Probably. Which
Now-
could explain why they changed it slightly.
It didn't. Patsy. It was Patsy. There you go. Now, here we go. The Pink Ladies. A nice little group of ladies here. Stockard Channing plays Betty Rizzo. I like her role. My type of woman.
Yeah, I like Rizzo.
Dee Dee Con plays Frenchie. She's sweet. She's cute.
And nice.
Jamie Donnelly as Jan. And Dinah Manoff plays Marty Maricino, like in the Cherry. Yeah.
She was weird, that one.
She was a bit strange, but see, I liked her role because she was playing a bit like a dumb blonde, but she's a brunette. You know.
Well, the interesting thing about her was that she was the only pink lady in this group that never even so much as getting interested in one of the T-Birds. I mean, yeah, she likes Sunny, but more as a friend, not romantically.
Anyway, do you want to tell the story now?
Sure. So the story begins at a nice beach, and Danny and Sandy are just getting along. It's a montage. It's nice music playing in the background. They're playing on the beach.
I want to make something, make a quick slight comment here. The opening scene was directly, not copied, but made to resemble From Here in Eternity.
Ah, that one.
So you say, oh, the beach scene with Burt Lancaster and whoever it was, yeah. I think it was Burt. Yeah, anyway, carry on.
Anyway, Sandy, at the end of the montage, tells Danny, guess what? I cannot stay anymore because my dad is going to take us back to Australia.
Yes, she's an Australian girl. Yeah,
she's from Sydney, Australia, according to her. But, of course, Danny says that, gives her a kiss and tells her that while this may not be the end, it's only the beginning. Yeah. Then we get to the credits, which is more of an animations of their lives a little bit. And the lives that are all around them. It's 1950s. Is it 1950s or 1960s?
50s, I think. 50s.
Yeah. And everything is interesting, and we move on to them in high school. It's interesting high school, and Danny and his mates who are T-Birds, they're like greasers, obviously. The term nowadays would be outcasts and stuff like that, but back then they would be. Yeah, they would be outcasts. Today, it's in this community, they would be outcasts. They would not be called.
They were a gang.
Yeah, outcast.
Not an outcast.
Yeah, outcasts. Like gothics and guys who don't like to study, who prefer to just be lazy, then that's pretty much their outcast.
I was like that. I wasn't an outcast. I had my group of friends. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anyway, it's no different from today, where we have a mixture of different cliques in the old days, where a mixture of kids are popular, hot, talented, brilliant. They're just pretty much in that category. Anyway, Sandy, as it turns out, did not go back to Australia. As it turns out, I think her dad decided to move out there, change of plans.
He got some way. They changed his job status.
Yeah, maybe
somehow or other.
Maybe a transfer, whatever they call it.
So he got permanent allocation to a job in America.
Yeah, so she gets along with Frenchie, a nice girl who's very welcoming to Sandy. She also introduces her to her own clique, the Pink Ladies.
Yay.
Rizzo, who's not too fond of Sandy's goody two-shoes attitude because she's so sweet, innocent, like the Snow White type.
Yeah, a bit like old Sandra Dee, Tammy and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. And the rest of the group consists of Jan and Marty, of course. And anyway, so we get into the school. Everyone is getting to know each other, and Danny's unaware of that Sandy is among them until the pep rally, which takes place the night later. And also, Sandy befriends, sort of, I think, the cheerleader, what's her name? Patty something or other, who's a total goody two shoes too.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, you like her, but you don't like her.
She's like the brilliant girl who likes the overachiever, who likes to be president of the school.
Everything.
And doesn't matter who she steps on the way. Nah, that's stupid.
No. She's a nice girl, but she's just over the top.
Yeah, a little over the top. So she's really up there. A pain. Anyway, Rizzo hates her. Anyway, so pep rally. Then Rizzo decides to try to get them to see each other, see Danny and Sandy together again, just to, I guess, humiliate Sandy because she doesn't really like her very much. And so shows Sandy Danny, and Danny is shocked to see her, and he tries to act cool with his friends.
He was telling his mates how he met this really good-looking babe, went down the beach on his holidays, and they did lots of really good things.
During a song which was called Summer Lovin', in one of the scenes, he was describing their encounter as a sexual kind, while Sandy's encounter in that same scene
more like a holding hands,
was more like a holding hands, like Mike here described as a bit of a... What was the name of that other movie you described again when we were talking about the montage?
From Here to Eternity.
Yeah, that. Sort of like that. But Danny described it as more of a sexual encounter. And Sandy doesn't like this new Danny, and she tells him off and leaves.
Bugger off, yeah.
And Danny feels like he's just hurt the girl he likes, and he wants to make amends.
Yeah, he wants to do whatever he can to get her back.
Yeah, so Sandy goes over to Frenchie's place to have a sleepover, where the girls, they drink, smoke, tease,
They do each other's hair and makeup.
Goody-goody two-shoes, or goody-goody nice girl act.
Hey, I've often wondered why they call them sleepover if they stay awake or not night talking.
Oh, good me strength, guys.
What? I don't know. Females are strange critters. Yeah.
I don't know, Mike, but I think it's enjoyable. It's better than just sleeping.
Anyway, I can sleep.
Anyway, Danny comes around to Frenchie's place to, I guess, to make amends, but he decides to change his mind, and Rizzo decides to hang out with Nikki, right?
Yeah.
For a night fling with him. And eventually they do hang out in Lover's Lane, and his car gets dented by another nasty guy. I'm not sure his name. It doesn't matter at this point. And the next day, Danny suggests they fix up the car and try to teach those other greaser guys a lesson, in a drag race later on.
Exactly.
Which is what he says in this greaser song, which I thought the dream sequence looked really cool, and this car at the end looks exactly like this car, wouldn't you say? I think so. The car at the end that was Danny's red car was resembling the dream sequence.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the story.
Could be a Barbie car for all I know.
Soon enough, Danny meets up with Sandy again at the ice cream malt shop, whatever they call it.
A malt shop, yeah.
And she's already dating or seeing a nice
football
player, nice guy.
Weatherman or something. Yeah.
A bit on the slow side. He doesn't talk very much. Does not matter too much. And Danny,
I think when you have good looks and wear a football uniform, you don't need too much.
Anyway,
Sorry,
I think
guys.
he's named Tom. Tom. And Danny thinks the only way to attract Sandy is by changing. Meaning he's changing his behavior for her, because she misses the old Danny, that was the man she fell in love with after all, right, Mike?
Yeah, the real guy, not the facade he puts up for his friends. No. Yeah.
So he goes to the soccer coach, the sports coach, and tries out several different sports until he settles on long distance running.
He wasn't very good in team sports and stuff, and we had we had this sort of wrestling.
That was a big mistake.
He didn't like that either, because he beat the snot out of the guy, or tried to anyway. So he needed something he could do by himself, like long distance running. It's really good. Away from everybody.
Yeah, and eventually he attracts Sandy's attention by tripping, and she comes to his aid by saying sorry and he says sorry too, and eventually he asks her to do a dance that's taking place at the school. Right, Mike?
That's the story. Mm-hmm.
She agrees, and they go to the malt shop again.
Oh, it's going to be a live broadcast from National Bandstand as well.
Exactly. Where it's, I guess you win a prize of sorts. Don't know what the prize is, does not matter at this point. So anyway, they go to the malt shop, and there they try to have a little bit of privacy, but some of their friends are there too, which makes it difficult. Sandy doesn't mind too much, but I think Danny wanted to have a little bit of private time with her, friendly time. But eventually, they couldn't get any of that private time, so they end up having to share that time with their friends. And eventually, they end the night, and Frenchie stays behind to figure out her future, because at the time she feels like she wants to drop out of school because she doesn't feel like school isn't going so well for her. Like she's not doing so well in class and stuff like that. And eventually a guardian angel appears and tells her, go back to school and pass the exams and tests.
You'll get a good job.
Hopefully then.
I think it was Frankie Avalon who
originally it was going to be Elvis, but I guess
Elvis didn't get it, and somebody else was considered for it too, but I can't remember. I think Donny Osmond. No, I can't remember. I'll look my notes later.
Yeah, well, it was one of those. Anyway,
no, a couple of them were considered for it.
Anyway, soon enough, the dance arrives, and everyone is paired off, or except for Rizzo and Nikki. They're paired off with different people. Like as it turns out, the same greaser who picked on Nikki earlier has now signed himself up with Rizzo, and Nikki is now paired off with a woman named Cha-Cha.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. A girlfriend of that very same greaser, I think. I don't know how this has happened, but I think it's more or less to try to...
Cha-Cha's pretty sexy and a good dancer.
Yeah, she's pretty nice. Anyway, the dance is underway. Everyone dances really cool, doing a lot of interesting dance moves, a lot of really extraordinary dance moves. And
all the old jive dances and stuff used to do.
Marty and Sonny are the only ones who are not paired off, as it turns out. Marty is attracted to the awesome host of the dance. What was his name? Vince Fontaine.
DJ is Vince Fontaine.
Yeah, a really hot, very sexy-looking man.
Well, yeah, he thinks he's God's gift to women. Yeah.
And Sonny is running around with making jokes and pouring alcohol into the punch bowl. The usual stuff in those dances.
Good, clean, wholesome fun. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, eventually, when we think Danny and Cindy are about to win, Sonny himself, who was probably drunk, kind of pulls Sandy off the dance floor and tries to dance with her. And then Cha-Cha approaches Danny and they start dancing. And Sandy runs out of the gym, upset, annoyed, and gosh knows what else. And Danny continues dancing with Cha-Cha until the bell rings saying, okay, you won, come collect your prize. And then they have that special dance, and then Sonny and Donnie and, what's his name, Patsy, they all decide to moon at the audience out on in the camera.
What he's trying to say is that they were doing a spotlight dance, I believe, with the two best dancers, which is Danny and Cha-Cha. And while they had the spotlight dance going on, three of the greasers dropped the tweeds and blue mooned everybody on National Bandstand. Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Lovely.
The next day, the principal does an announcement saying if their photos of what they did were going to be sent to the FBI, and if they don't turn themselves in, they're going to be looking at facing some federal charges.
And how would you recognise a bum cam? Hello. I mean, actually, it's quite funny. That there's a lady there who runs the machine shop here where these guys hang out, and she recognised their bums because he's used to seeing them bending over the car's mud guards while they're working on motors. So I see she knew which bum was which, but she wasn't going to tell anybody. Yeah. Interesting. It's just funny. I like that.
Yeah. Now we get to the drive-through, I think. Yeah, drive-through.
Drive-in.
Drive-in, drive-through.
No.
Okay, drive-through.
Drive-in.
Drive-in. Anyway, everyone is gone down to the movies and to watch a few movies and spill some gossip here and there. Speaking of gossip, Rizzo confides to Marty that she skipped a period, meaning that she...
She may be preggers.
Yes, at this
He
point.
may have a bun in the oven.
Of course, the secret doesn't stay secret for long. Marty ends up telling Sonny, and Sonny began to spread the lie. I mean, the rumor.
The whisper, the old Chinese whispers went through that school pretty fast.
Uh-huh. And soon Nicky found out the news in no more than a few seconds.
A few minutes.
A few minutes or a few seconds.
Yeah, whatever.
And
a couple of seconds on the TV program.
And he then approaches Rizzo and says that when he tell him about it, because they were together, obviously, that night, and his condom broke, technically.
Well, yeah, before he put it on, he had it in his wallet. He had it since he was in the 6th grade or something or other.
Yeah. Trying to get
He had
lucky.
to dry it out a bit.
And Rizzo tells him not to worry because it's her mistake. And
It's not yours.
Yeah, and...
No, I think she said it's not yours.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, I think she said that.
And I think Kaniki was a little heartbroken. If not heartbroken, just a little disappointed.
He was disappointed. Yeah, exactly. Right, very disappointed because I think he genuinely loved her. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sandy and Danny, they're in the drive-thru, and as
Drive-in. A drive-thru was McDonald's or KFC or Burger King. Okay, a drive-in is where you actually sit.
Okay.
And do things in the car. Okay.
Don't go there, Mike.
Okay.
Speaking of doing things, Danny gets 2 grubby hands with
He
Sandy
wants to
at
grab a
one point.
doobie. Yeah.
Yeah, until she tells him to where to stick it, or not really.
Well, not stick it. Keep it. Don't stick it anywhere. Keep it yourself.
She then leaves the drive-in, and he then feels sad that doesn't feel like he's the man of the hour. He's the man of being a loser.
He feels like he let himself down as well.
Yeah, I feel like he feels like he's not the man that Sandy needs, and he feels like both of them are not in the same world together. Sandy is like nice and deserves someone who's nice, while Danny, his life is so wrecked up with all sorts of different things.
Well, yeah,
he pretended
his
to be someone
lifestyle
else.
stuff, yeah.
He pretended to be someone else when he is someone else completely different.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Look at me.
he expresses it in the song, it's called Sandy. Anyway, and next day, I think, I'm not sure, because there's no.
Well, we think it's the next day.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway.
Things do move fast in these movies.
Yeah. And the car they worked on, Kanicki's car.
Yeah, they hodded it up and give them a paint job and everything.
Yeah. And stole a few parts.
Hey?
Remember they stole a few car
Oh,
parts?
they borrowed a few.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the thing is, he asked Danny to be his second.
Yeah. Like if you
It
had
wasn't a duel because
Yeah, like if you had a duel, or you have, or an extra person driving a plane or driving a plane.
No,
That's how we
that's a
described it.
co-pilot.
Well, that's what he said in the
Whatever.
driving,
He's wrong.
And how there was a movie and there was never mind. I won't go into the details about that.
It's a second. In case anything happens to him, he can't drive. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Danny agrees because they're both big friends, good friends, and I think they feel like they're brothers to each other. I think in my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, Rizzo tells Sandy that a lot of people have been spreading rumors about her current situation. It's kind of probably spread all over to school, making her seem cheap and nasty.
And she says she wants to be there for her.
Yeah.
Because Sandy's a good girl. And
she appreciated it. I mean, Rizzo appreciates it, even though she doesn't even attend Kanicki's the drag race, as it turns out. I think she wants to, but I think she just doesn't probably feel comfortable with the idea.
No.
So the rest of the Pink Ladies do turn up, along with the other greaser gang, and as they're about to race, Jenny spots a penny on the ground, and she gives it to Marty, and Marty gives it to Kanicki as a good luck charm.
And he drops it.
And someone whacks him in the head with the car door.
Oh, yeah, he bends down to pick it up. He's right next to the car, and it's smacko.
Ouch.
Not an aluminium car like they make now, but really solid steel. So he gave him one hell of a sore head.
Yeah,
Yes,
and he cannot drive because his head's spinning.
Yeah, so
So-
good old Danny has to step in for him.
Yeah, and Danny does pretty well. I mean, despite the guy having those some weird Ben-Hur type devices
Oh
to
yeah,
his
this guy,
chariot.
the other guy, this guy's challenged him, has these spiky sort of things hanging off the wheel hubs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get near the other car, you can rip the car apart, give him a puncher. Nice.
Yeah,
That's cheating.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he does. Danny does a good job. He eventually does an awesome leap in the car that really does an awesome job of winning. And eventually, the T-Birds and the Pink Ladies cheer and they start singing. And Sandy's
Yay.
there, of course, watching the whole thing. And Sandy slowly wonders if she should belong to. Does she belong to
Yeah.
Danny's world? And she starts wondering, maybe I should change for him too.
Yes, a little bit.
So she tells this to Frenchie, and Frenchie tells her Sandy asks her if she can go to her place to discuss, possible fashion options.
Let's just say she's in for a makeover that you wouldn't believe. How's that?
Then we cross to the school, meaning that they're about to have their
Some sort of fun fair type thing, yeah.
Yeah, where they're doing their. I guess this is sort of their final
End
year
school,
of school
graduation, they got a fair on or something, yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved this at my school if I bothered to graduate.
Yeah, well...
I didn't
No, well,
graduate
we
in high
changed
school.
schools and changed states and we moved around a bit, so yeah.
So I would have not known about this sort of thing.
Well, I didn't have one. So what's your problem?
No, I just think it would have been a fun option, an idea,
Well, I didn't have one.
and a lot better than just having a cloak and cap and gown thingy wing. That will last long.
Here's a cap, here's a gown, here's a piece of paper to go home.
And
Yeah.
here's a long speech to go with it. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah.
Boring,
Blah blah blah.
boring.
A long speech that goes on for hours.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Whatever.
so the kids have fun. Of course, there was a pie throwing contest where you throw the pie at the coach, and of course Eugene, the nerd of the group, he was the one who got a bullseye. And I like it when Sonny gives him a pie in the face.
Yeah. It was cute, it was fun. Yeah.
And Rizzo tells Kaniki that it was a false alarm and
She's
she's
not
not
pregnant.
So
They're both happy, and he
yeah.
makes her...
yeah, he remarks that he would have made an honourable woman out of her. I guess he
He would have done the right thing by her, and he sort of indicated that he wanted to be engaged to her.
Yeah.
In a funny sort of way he said it, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Danny arrives and he's wearing a letter jacket, not a leather jacket, letter.
A letter.
A letter
He's
jacket.
now a letter man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
yeah.
another word for,
They know what a letter man is. Will you stop telling what they know?
Well, I'm just telling people who have, because we live in Australia and we don't have letter
Excuse
jackets.
me, every American movie at the high schools have guys walking around with cardigans on with a letter on it, or a pullover with a letter on it. What's that? A number man? Okay, it's a letter man.
Anyway,
Okay, fine.
he says that he's doing great at track. I guess that's the running thing
track.
he did.
Yeah.
And he's now... The group is feeling... The T-Birds guys started to wonder if this means the end of the T-Birds stuff. But But Danny says he's doing everything he can to please Sandy. And eventually Sandy appears wearing some really tight black jeans black pants and this awesome black leather
It looked
jacket.
like it was painted on. It was body hugging, and Olivia looked brilliant. And she had this nice gentle perm through her hair.
Yeah, it looks so
It's looked
pretty.
really hot, nice makeup. And I thought, shit, ooh.
Swear, Mike. What did I tell you about swearing on
Okay,
podcasts?
manure. Ooh.
Yeah,
Better?
and they start
Fertilizer.
singing and they start singing and dancing, and eventually they soon realize that they're now the couple they want to be together, and it's cool. And then they start talking about what they're going to do after graduation, will they still see each other, stuff like that. But Danny says, don't worry, we'll still see each other. And Sonny says, how do you know? Well, what do you mean, how I know? He's always like that. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, they start singing, dancing, they're giving their yearbooks, and then Danny and Sandy, they drive off in this beautiful red car, and they fly off into the sky, which I often think is like heaven, or some people misinterpret these days. But I often think it's another word, another place of paradise, or heading towards a brighter future in my mind. Olivia Newton-John's case, she's heading towards heaven in my mind.
Yes, I think so.
That's my opinion. Anyway, that's the end of the movie. I'm sorry I've skipped over the ending a bit because it was mostly songs that go on
songs,
about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about songs.
But anyway, it's a good, fun movie if you like the old nostalgia sort of Happy Days, American Graffiti stuff. So, just a little bit of a few things about casting. When they were casting this, and they got Olivia Newton-John on board, the original script had the person as an American, and Olivia Newton-John was an English girl who came to Australia and lived here and had a British Australian accent. And they actually rewrote the script to make her an Australian person who had come over to America with a family because her father was doing some work over here. So they actually rewrote the script a bit to fit her into the storyline. Interesting. Okay, and Carrie Fisher was considered for the role.
What role was she going to play?
We are talking about Olivia Newton-John.
I'm sorry, it's just I can't see Carrie
Sandy.
Fisher singing.
Who knows? She might have been able to sing. Numerous Anne Margaret, Deborah Ruffin, Susan Day, Marie Osmond for the lead role as well. Interesting. Olivia Newton-John took a pay cut.
Really?
In exchange for star billing.
Wow.
She's a smart girl.
Smart woman.
Yeah. So it will help the career a bit. She was in several movies back then, but that was I suppose the most memorable ones. Xanadu didn't do anything for me. Excuse me. Now,
here's an interesting thing, guys. This is the third highest grossing movie of its time, next to Jaws and Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah, but it's made bucket loads. Anyway, moving right along with some of the casting. Now, Henry Winkler turned down the role of Danny Zuko. So it was Danny, wasn't Kaneki. He's going to take the lead role.
Cool.
Hey, I thought it was Kaneki, but yeah. Elvis Presley was considered for the role of the Teen Angel, but he died before the production.
No kidding.
Oops.
No surprise.
Bad timing, hey. Marie Osmond's brother and duet partner Johnny Osmond was also another potential for that position, but Frankie Avalon got it. Okay. I won't go into too much more.
I can never see that.
Yeah. So, there's lots of different little thingies you don't know about people want the job. It would have been a good, fun production to be on.
I mean, I do remember in that sleepover scene where there was that song, Sandra Dee song, and it did have a photo of Elvis, and it would be weird.
He would have been a teen idol back in those days.
I know, but considering I've seen the photo of what he looked like before he passed away, and I got to admit, he did look washed up.
You'd be surprised what a bit of makeup and a bit of creative cinematography he can do. Good lighting.
Makes me think too much about not being disrespectful, but it makes me think of Meatloaf.
Meatloaf, yeah.
And you see what I mean there.
Yeah, he's more like mincemeat now. Sorry, Meatloaf.
Anyway, also, guys, they did a sequel to this movie, and it wasn't...
The sequel wasn't anywhere near as good.
No,
I mean, I'm sorry.
Even though Michelle Pfeiffer was in it, and no offense to Michelle out there, but I just don't think this was not her major film role.
No, well, this everyone knows... Yeah. If you have a first movie, the main movie, which starts it off and it's really, really good, and you really identify with the leading actors in it, when somebody else makes a sequel to it and they're not in it, you say, well,
Yeah.
they're not as good as the other guys.
Yeah, I mean...
And that's what the problem is.
Also, they did try to bring
and
back...
the storyline could be a bit thin.
They tried to bring back some of the original cast. Frenchie, the girl who was Sandy's best friend, and some other characters, including the greaser guy who raced Danny in the drag race.
But,
he made an appearance in it too, but I'm not... I don't really care about him.
Role. You see, he didn't have the major draw cards which made the first movie what it was.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes it's good not to make a sequel.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, the first one has been growing a bigger and bigger audience. And a lot of younger generation kids, teenagers, that's probably their first movie that gives them the impression of what being a teenager is like. At least that was for me for a little while. But, of course... it took me a few years to work out what being a teenager is really about.
Yep.
Although my sister is probably still stuck into working out it herself.
Yeah, whatever.
I won't go into that one.
The point is that you get a good movie. Now, okay, we're talking about Grease here at the moment. I don't want to digress too much, but let's say Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. Has 8 movies, was it? 8 movies?
Let me see.
Whatever.
One, 2, 3.
You had Harry Potter, which is Daniel Radcliffe. And you had Emma Thompson, is it?
Yeah.
And can't remember Ron's
about
name.
7.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an 8th one, but that's a stage production.
I talk about the main movies.
I'm just telling you.
The guy played Ron, something Gent. Anyway, these kids, they started off as kids, and they grew up from movie to movie. Mm-hmm. Now, if you wanted to change one of those guys. Even their parents, Dumbledore, he died, they had to get a replacement, but they kept everybody the same. So you had continuity, and the magic, pardon the pun, being Harry Potter, kept going. You start changing people around, say, okay, we've got new people in it. I think you lose the magic, and I think it happens in sequels. If you can't get the people tied up for the sequel who are in the original one, it's probably good to leave it alone because if you can't do better than the original, you throw a money down the toilet. There you go. Better? Now, critical reception. I won't go for everybody because I can't talk very much at the moment. However, general consensus is it was good. Okay? Some people thought it was better. Some thought it was great. Some thought it was good. There's no negatives as far as I'm aware.
That's a relief.
Yeah, so there you go. It's a case, though, if you've got a reviewer who doesn't like musicals, he's going to grade it down. If you get a reviewer who likes musicals, he's going to grade it up. So
I was listening to a reviewer who was remarking that if he's watching, if a movie pleases him, he would review it. But if it comes to a movie that's not really to his cup of tea, he won't review it because it's not really, and he doesn't want to waste film or recording time to say how much he dislikes it.
But the point is, if we have a brand new movie came out today, and someone said, "Hey, can you review that?" We'd have a go at reviewing it. Now, it might not be a good review. But we'd try not to be troll-like either, because there's a difference between giving a fair critique, even if it's a bad one, and being a troll. We would never go out of our way to tear somebody a new bumhole because we feel like it. But we won't always give everybody a top grade. We've been down to around 6.5 on some ratings. But mainly we try to get interested in movies which are going to be up around, 8 to 10, because, hey, let's review a good movie that you guys might like. Not saying, don't watch this movie, it's a bag of rubbish. Why would we bother?
I've read a lot of fan theories, and when people keep bringing up the ending, the bit where they're flying off into the clouds, they try to make it, try to put reality into it, saying that they must have died in a car crash. Hello, there is.
It's like they're living the dream. They're in heaven, being with each other. That sort of stuff. They're lifted up by the angels' wings, and they're just. Yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
It doesn't. I mean, I don't always think everyone. Just because I've seen two times I've seen a vehicle flying off into space onto the screen, and at the time I didn't think that they were just flying off because they died. I think that they're heading off to a better place, meaning not
a relationship.
Not necessarily heaven like they died. They're in a better. They're happy.
Heaven here on earth.
Heaven here on earth. Stuff like that. Do not have to read too much into it. Because too many fans out there, they just read too much into it, and then those facts get picked up by media and think this theory is real. And then they print it off, and then they just show it to the rest of the world and think this is a real theory. And it ruins the whole movie magic feeling towards it. Yep. I hate that when it comes to this stuff. They print this stuff, and then I think that you're just ruining the movie for the rest of us out there.
Yeah.
Anyway. Do you want to rate this movie now?
Yeah, well, I can't talk very good at the moment. Right, here we go. I can't find anything majorly wrong with the movie.
Me neither.
The acting's good. Mm-hmm. The filming's great. The songs are good.
Mm-hmm. The humour's good. The humour's good.
Subtle humour in there, yeah. I'm going to give it... Do I go for a 9.5 or a 10? Look, out of respect for Olivia and her passing away, I'm going to give it a 10.
I'm going to give it 10.5 out of 10. I mean, 10.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Considering she has been a wonderful influence, and I haven't forgotten all the movies and songs she probably did over the years. She also starred in a movie called Mum for Christmas.
That was a sweet movie, very nice, a good Christmas season movie.
And she was in a sort of, I guess, it was more of a Hallmark type fairy tales TV shows where she played the host in it, and I always thought she was very pretty, very nice,
and very nice
personality, which is probably one of the things I most remember from her personality. That she was so inviting that makes you feel like you can be at home with that person.
But every time I saw her being interviewed, she came over that way too.
Yeah, that's what I like about Olivia.
A very nice, gentle lady.
She's beautiful and has a nice personality.
So, anyway, by the way, you can obviously get this on eBay. Yes, you can get it on Amazon. Yes, you can rent it. It's around. Everyone still loves the movie. And considering it was made in 1978, it's still going strong, folks. So,
I mean, I think
if you haven't seen it, especially younger guys who may not have seen it, a lot of the older people may have seen it.
Yeah,
but the young people?
Since her passing, I think I've heard more and more and more of Grease's songs on the radio. And, it's not only that. I've seen a lot of things like John Travolta doing a montage about dedicated to her, which is nice. I mean,
John's a nice man by the sound of it. I've met him personally.
Me neither. I have never met the man either. Yeah. But I imagine they got along.
Movies. Yeah.
I imagine they got along. Off on set as friends. And
I think they were friends for quite a long time, or maybe all life. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the history of John and Olivia. I don't think there was too much to go on.
No. I think they were just good friends. Yeah.
Anyway, that's about it for us tonight, guys.
Yeah. And I can't breathe very good.
I can't think of anything else except for the fact I do wish Olivia's family and friends all the best to them, and I hope that they'll slowly mend over the grief of losing their friend.
Get over the loss, and no, it's sad when somebody goes. But a lot of people die. I mean, but you think about over the years, all the good old actors we grew up with. Your Vincent Prices, your Boris Karloffs and Bela Lugosi's and Lon Chaney Juniors and all the old guys in horror. They disappeared years ago. There's not too many people to fill their shoes.
Yeah, it's hard to let go. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, you do get your Kane Hodders and those sort of people come in. They do help.
Yeah. So it is kind of hard to let go of the old. I mean, no offense to Olivia or anyone else, but it is hard to let go of people who touched your lives when you were a child or growing up.
She reminds you a lot of Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, that seems nice.
She had a nice, sweet nature, and it came out in the movies. And that's what happened with Olivia.
Yeah.
She looked good on the screen, and she was natural, just like Audrey was. So yeah.
Yeah. So.
Audrey's still alive, maybe. I shouldn't say.
Audrey Hepburn passed away many years ago.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
She could have been an old lady with old wrinkles and everything.
Well, Dad, bear in mind she was. She did. She did help out in World War II, I think, when she was no more than a 12-year-old, helping the resistance out.
But she could still be 80 years old or something or other.
Yeah, but it usually depends on your health and any past history of medical or non-stuff like that.
Yeah, but anyway.
It's usually, I mean, you said yourself that Olivia had...
she's been battling cancer.
She had cancer, and that's how she passed away because of that.
No, she put up a good fight.
She put up a good fight for the. Well, I do think she'll be well remembered from her movies and songs and stuff.
She will live forever.
Yes.
How's that? Anyway, we've got to go. Come on, we'll wrap it up.
Time to wrap it up now.
I can't breathe at the moment.
So, this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying, see you around. And be sure to check out Grease as much as you can.
Yeah, like if you saw it years and years ago, see if you can hire a decent Blu-ray copy or something, and have a good look at it. It's really a nice, fun family movie if your family likes music. How's that?
Yeah. And just because it's an old movie, it's always good to review something that is old. I mean, a lot of people keep saying, why do you review old movies when it's already been out there for so many years?
Yeah, but some people who have been... I could go along and talk Sarah into reviewing a silent movie, say. Nosferatu comes to mind. People say, why do you want to do that? It's an old movie. Yeah, but how many young people have actually seen it?
Also, guys, I have found news on the Wednesday TV series I've been telling you guys about. It's going to be released in November. I don't know what the date is, but it's out there. It's all scheduled to be released then. I thought it would come out in October for Halloween, but I guess they were adding a few more things to it before they release it to Netflix.
Exactly.
So that's about it for us tonight, guys. So.
Excuse me.
So we'll see you guys next time, and this is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael Dine.
saying, see you guys around. Bye for now.
Bye.